And boom! Hey up troops, ALYTTLETON here again with another video. It's time to look at the Nighthaven Labs setup, seeing as it's getting modernised next season as well. All the rotations, reinforcements, head holes, feet holes and lines of sights that you need to know to set up and defend all 4 sites as best as you can. This setup is not for Pro League, it's not for Bronze, it's not for Gold or Champ. It's the most generic setups that will work in almost every rank, if not definitely every rank. That's enough waffling. Let's just get stuck into it. Okay, let's get cracking with the top floor then. We're going to start over in Connector, which is an area that you really must defend. Start by reinforcing the 2 walls outside on Connector. You need to electrify these, Bandit or Cade, or Mute even if you have to. But you've got to reinforce these walls. And the final thing here is feet holes along the meeting wall. And there's a window here. Let me just, there's a window there. So if anyone jumps in there, which is quite a common thing to do for attackers, you're going to see their feet before they see you, and obviously see feet, shoot heads. That's Connector. I would also start a little bit outside of Connector. You've got to have someone defending in here, right? I would start with somebody outside here, looking for the drones that are almost inevitably going to come through this door. Get a drone or 2 and back off. You don't have to take the fight here because you don't want to die here. You want to be holding this area, but you want to just put on a little bit of pressure, which is going to slow them down. So yeah, get a drone or 2. Be wary that somebody could jump in here. Also, there's a window over there as well, so you've got to listen out for that as well. But you don't want to be taking fights here unless it's an absolute freebie, because if you die here and you're the person defending Connector, the enemies walk up to Connector, and within, say, 30, 40, 50 seconds, they're in Connector. Sorry, I'm just taking my watch off. Do apologise. That's sorted. I should probably edit that out, but I won't. You'd be in Connector, and you can't have attackers here in Connector with 2 minutes left in the round, because it's just not going to end well for you. So yeah, defend this as long as you can. Destroy a couple of drones. Try and deny this wall if you can. This will probably end up getting open, but don't worry. Also, just watch out. Don't stand and peek. Once this wall's open, you can't stand anywhere near here. This line running all the way down here up to this bit of cover here, you can't stand here. There's an angle outside where you can stand on the roof and you can see all the way through this room, so don't stand anywhere near here. As soon as this wall's open, peeking this door is almost a death sentence. Then we come into electrical. It's somewhere else you're going to need to have a player. Electrical to hold the jump in here. Somewhat, maybe even a prox on the wall, but don't forget you can stand here with mute and you can get a C4 that will go over the window and outside. It doesn't work with prox alarms because they're not the same trajectory. Like a C4 loops a lot more, a prox alarm goes a lot straighter than a C4 does. So don't use that example as gospel. So you've got to have someone holding electrical. No setup in here really that you need. Then coming back into server. Someone who's going to be playing in server needs to think that if you've lost Connector, and this goes for the Connector player as well, if this wall gets open and you're getting really pressured, dive back into site here, reinforce this wall, keep 1 reinforcement spare, as you can see that we've done in the top left. Make sure we keep that spare, reinforce the right-hand side of this wall, rotate on the left, just so you can have a bit of flexibility and connect. If they don't end up opening this wall and they don't end up pushing this way, but they jump in electrical, having this wall open means you can then jump through here and put pressure on this side instead. So you can't just turtle up on Nighthaven. To be honest, you can't just do that on most Siege maps these days. Something you used to do back in the day in old Siege. Right, IT wall, reinforcing both of them and make a bit of vert so you can see the ash that is always inevitably going to open this window and try and get rid of the bandit batteries that are on the wall. But yeah, you've got to electrify this as well. Watch out for a maverick on this wall, just making a mav line across the bottom. The steps outside mean they get a nice angle over into the rafters there. Sorry, I just had to sneeze then. I'm not doing particularly well this door you need something on as well. Prox alarm probably. You don't have to defend here too much. You can maybe start the round here and get a drone or 2 that comes up there, but you're definitely going to get peeked from this corner here, so you've really got to watch out. It's not somewhere again you want to be losing your life. Rafters, right, this is the age-old question. If you've got an experienced gunner who can play his army well, then play rafters. One of your army keeper barriers goes on this piece of the sort of handrail or whatever you want to call it here. Not on the edge here, and not on this side, but on this little bit in the middle where it's a bit darker. That will then send a keeper barrier up in this sort of direction and then around, which means you can peek around this side and you can peek around that side. It's a really, really solid keeper barrier. Then your next keeper barrier goes on here, higher up, and that's for if anyone jumps in here, you can see the feet as they jump in the window. It's a really unforgiving position to play. You've got to have some information if someone's walking up the stairs at the bottom as well. It's a tough place to play, but it does, if you can get a gunner that can play there, it does bode well. Over into command center, we've got head holes. Reinforce the left wall here, head holes on the right. This is so you can see the breach. You can see IT, and you can see connector if you need to. And obviously towards the back of site behind pillar. This triple wall is, and those head holes have lined up lovely across that line, those straight lines. This triple wall is an interesting talking point because a lot of people play this differently, and it's played different in Pro League. And whenever I've made videos about this on TikTok or on YouTube in the past, people have always said, no, reinforce the left wall, reinforce the right wall, have a rotate in the middle. That's what they do in Pro League. That is what they do in Pro League, but this isn't Pro League. And no offense, you aren't in Pro League. And these setups are the sort of most, what's the right, not generic, but the setups which will get you the most value no matter what rank you're in. Yes, if you're in a higher rank, you can play reinforce the right, reinforce the left, rotate in the middle with a mirror on one of them, probably the other side, and then play the rotate here. But if you play that in any other rank, you're going to get domed from this door. So play the head holes. You can maybe make a vault rotate here. So if the person playing on rafters, if that army does end up playing rafters, if they feel a little bit too much pressure and it's safe to do so, they could then maybe dive back inside. But you don't want to be making a rotate there unless anyone's playing rafters, because otherwise the attackers just have a freeway into side from here. From this angle here, you can hold on to the door there towards the top of the stairs of Mez and just on the window jump in, but you don't really want to be holding this angle. This is unfavorable for defenders. It's just to hold this door. But don't stand here close to this reinforcement, because you're going to get domed from there or domed from here. So you've got to stand a little bit further back. Reinforce the right wall here and make feet holes. This is just for anyone walking past there that you're going to see their feet before they see you. See feet, shoot heads. And that pretty much sums up the top 4. Rafters and IT is the toughest area to play and is arguably the most important area. To be fair, along with connector over there as well. Really important areas to hold on to. The fish, you've got to have some kind of... this is called fish over here, by the way. Fish stairs. I don't know why they're called fish stairs, right? There's a load of water, but there's no fish. It's just like a waterfall, but there's no fish. There's not a single fish that I've ever seen. So I don't know why people call it fish. But anyway, this is... Why do they call it water stairs or blue stairs? I don't know, but it's called fish stairs. Is there a... I'm adamant I'm going to find a fish now. I'm looking for it, but I'm not. You definitely need something over here, by the way, like a prox alarm here, maybe even just a Malusi Banshee here, or a Fenrir mine or something. You've got to have something. You see it time and time again. Attackers walk in here and just walk along here and get an absolute freebie by getting the guys on the head holes here. You've got to have some notification that somebody is coming in that way. That's it, really. An easy, not easy, but a side that is defendable, that is decent. But I think attackers have just as much a chance on Nighthaven on the top 4 as well. There's a lot of angles you've got to worry about as a defender. And there's a radio there you can shoot that I already shot earlier on in the round, I'm afraid. But yeah, top 4 done. On to the basement then, and we'll just start with the hatches. We reinforce all 3 hatches. The one here in cargo. The one over here in Animus. Oh, didn't shoot. And then the one way over the other side on Exo. Or Exo suit. Just a quick little thing you can do, which I'll just talk about briefly, is look for the Exo hatch, look to the left of it, make a hole there. There's a window here. You could almost, not always, maybe, but like maybe 40% of the time you'll get somebody jumping through this window. So holding below here with a shotgun is a free kill. You can also do the same thing here, although this is a little bit more risky because most people throw a ram drone through here. You can do the same here. But this is where most people will try and fuse above, or will they throw a ram drone through, a ram boogie drone through there, or but a lot of people do enter there. So when you're making this hole, try and make it, move out, watch out for this. Try and make it as close to the wall as you can. So when they're looking through the window, you don't want to, you don't want to be like having the hole over here, because they're going to see that when they jump in. You want to make sure, and when they're droning, you want to make sure you've got it as tight as possible to here. So even if they do jump in, they know you're there. They aren't going to be able to jump in and look down far enough to take the fight with you. You're going to get a freebie, especially with a shotgun. It's a lot easier. Right then, let's start over in Animus, I think. So we're over in Animus. Aminus, I just said. That's brilliant. Fantastic. Cut that out. Then we've got... I won't cut that out. Spoiler alert. Well, it's not a spoiler alert, has it? Because if you're watching the video now, then it's already been spoiled. So what am I talking about? Animus, reinforce that single wall. Make the feet holes here. This is just so if you're on this door and you see anyone walk in, you can watch that. Obviously, you've got to watch this side of the tank as well. But you can also do the same from further back here. You can see anyone that's coming in Animus there. The attackers gain nothing from these feet holes, so you should always make them. You've then got the window and the Animus tank itself. You can place somebody behind here, but all this above, this sort of grey and white triangle ceiling pattern is all soft floor. So yeah, I'll talk about playing above in just a second, but you have to play somebody above on this side, so otherwise you're going to lose it. So yeah, you can play someone around the Animus tank. It's a good place to play, but it's you can get a nice little angle on the breach. But yeah, you've got to have someone above, otherwise you're going to get turfed out. Then we go over into assembly, and we've got the 2 reinforcements on the wall there. You've got to try and watch this default plant here. I would suggest even putting maybe a prox there. If somebody pushes in and tries to get on the default plant, you're going to hear that they're on there. But I would definitely put like a goo mine or something just on there, so they can hear if they come in. Then we'll go over into... Hang on a minute. Let's go this way around. I still sometimes get like a little bit confused with which way I can go around here. Over in Nano, we've got the right-hand side wall reinforced. Sorry, that's the left. The left-hand side wall reinforced here. The right-hand side wall reinforced there. You see some people reinforce this side of the wall. I don't agree with it personally because if you're on this side of the wall here and then they're pushing EXO, you can't get across here without crossing the head holes that would be here. That you can't get across. Whereas if you're here, you can play here and then move over to this wall and then play this wall as well. You could make the argument, yeah, but you can't get across to Animus if you need to if the head holes are this side. Yeah, you're not wrong, but you're going to have at least 1 or 2 people that side and maybe not 1 or 2 people this side. But, there's, I suppose it's one of those where you would say there's no right or wrong. But I think in most cases, this is going to be more beneficial to you on the left side. Right side here, 100%. Head holes on the left. This is to hold the bottom of the Animus, exosuit stairs. And over here on this single wall here in Nano, make a hole in the top right-hand side of the wall. This is for anyone that's using the default plan, which is you come through Animus here, you tuck in here, and you start planting here. So one of the main attacks that you do on this site, and maybe I'll make a video about this, is you make the vert in this room here, which means that no defenders can be playing around here because you've got the vert control. Then all you got to do is open this hatch. You don't even have to open this breach. Is open that hatch, then come through here, play Capitao, smoke that door, and smoke that door. I actually did an attack on this the other day when I was playing with George in the Gaming Zone squad, and they absolutely nailed it. They had a Capitao above, and I played Grim. I played Grim here, put the bees there, and then Capitao above flamed off both doors so they couldn't push through. Drop the hatch, come and plant here. And the defenders can't do anything, because the only place you can stop this from is this door and this door. And if they're both flamed off from above, and being held from above as well, what do you do? Well, the only counter to it is this hole here, where you could either throw a C4 or you can throw a smoke in that area to stop that plant. And see, that would stop the plant over there. So having that hole there is super important if they're going to be going for that Animus plant. You need to have a C4 or a smoke grenade go over the top of there to stop the plant. Over in this corridor here that no one really knows what it's called Nanotech Hallway on the compass, but I don't actually know what it's called. Nano Hall, I think we'll probably call it. You make a hole in the right-hand side there, on the top right-hand side of the wall. You can see the top of the cargo stairs. And you make feet holes for if you're playing back here in EXO and they walk down the stairs, you can then see the feet. Also, if they drop the hatch, which is here, you're going to be able to see them drop the hatch, and then you're going to see the feet there as well. Over here in EXO, there's not a lot of setup to do, really. We talked about that head hole there. Hole in the floor for the window jump in. You've got a prox on the wall there, because you definitely want to know if somebody's coming down the stairs. There is a hiding spot to play here. Some people just drone down the stairs and don't look right. If they do look down the stairs, you're kind of like locked out. You've got to be able to cross the stairs to get back. And this is a strong place to play here, to be able to stop the plant and default spot there, and then obviously hold the breach. But again, all of this has got vert. This is the problem with this bottom floor site. If you've got someone who's above and they know where they want to attack from, if they're a coordinated stack, let's just say they know they want to plant on the assembly breach in this default area here, they would just need to take this vert, and then no one can stand on this door. The only place you can stop the plant from then are these head holes and this door, which can be watched from the breach when it's open, like here or here. Really tough place to play. But you've got to have somebody holding upstairs. If we go upstairs quickly, you want to have a Legion or a Vigil or something maybe upstairs. This is where all the vert is for EXO. This is where all the vert is for Assembly. And then this is where all the vert is for Animus. If you just make a few holes here, you'll see what I mean. Oh, I'm on the wrong angle. Like, that's the Animus tank there. You can see that's the Animus tank. As soon as you've got this vert open, no one can play in there. Bear in mind, you'd play a ram, right? So you'd come here with ram, and you'd make a line all the way across here, and then do one on an angle through here as well. And it just opens up all of that room. This is a good angle as well. This looks down towards where the plant spot is. So in that attack I just talked about, we had the Capitao above. Capitao flamed off that door and flamed off the... where's the other door? That door. You can do it with the, obviously with the fire crossbow bolt just there and there. Completely stops you walking through those doors, and you can just plant over there. Yeah, really solid attack. But you've got to make sure you have somebody playing upstairs. It is a difficult thing to do, because you're going to have attackers coming through all sorts of different angles. It's not an easy place to play. But if you've got someone who's a decent roamer who can waste some time, and you definitely need to have somebody upstairs when you're defending the basement on Nighthaven. That's what the holes look like as you jump in. The reason I say try and put them as far away from the window as possible is you don't want... See how we can't see the holes here? So when you jump in, you don't know they're there until the last second if you haven't droned it. But if you were to say make the head holes for that window, like here, when you come to the window like this, you go, oh, hang on, that floor's open. I'm not jumping in there. Whereas if you're further, like, tighter to the window here, you wouldn't see them before you jump in. So it'd be too late for them to do anything about it. That is Nighthaven basements. I actually really enjoy playing the basements. I enjoy bandit tricking. It's one of my favorite things to do. What's that? Is that just a bit of wall? Yeah. I enjoy bandit tricking, which is really feasible here. You obviously just got to watch out. There's vert above. There's no vert above on the Animus breach, though. So you do get to enjoy bandit tricking this in relative safety, other than the hatch. I really like Nighthaven. I think I'm going to say this on record. Nighthaven's my favorite map. Third site we'll cover is kitchen and cafe. And look, the third site, if you're higher up in the elo ladder, if I'm brutally honest, is probably command. But kitchen is generally the third site that you see in rank these days. But yeah, I would say command is actually a better site or an easier site to defend, but we'll do kitchen next. We're going to start over here on the window of the kitchen side and then the freezer side. So freezer has feet holes all the way along. You don't want to reinforce any of this. You've then got the kitchen window, obviously, you want to watch out for. Then you've got head holes across here where you can throw C4s and smokes onto the main breach that goes out to lobby. You've then reinforced these two walls. You've got the head holes here. Reinforcement on the right, rotate on the left. These head holes are for C4s over towards this door. And again, over towards that breach and for smoking out that breach to try and delay. A lot of the push on this side comes from that breach because it's the only on the other side of here is just a lobby door. So for attackers, it's super easy for them to get control of this area here. So once they've got control of this area, like that's the breach there. So it's a super easy way for them to get early control. Coming down towards the kitchen corridor and back into kitchen. Head holes here, let me say, for C4s and smokes. Then we've got the point where you want to be playing outside the site. You have to do that again on this site. I feel like I've said that loads on this map, but you do. You definitely want to have a person here on these stairs. When I play here, if you've ever watched me streams, I'll also put a rotate here. Just a small rotate so I can come back in. What will happen is at the start of the round, you'll run out and reinforce this hatch. I still haven't found a way to counter that, although apparently somebody has. Somebody's found a Capitao bolt that does stop that hatch reinforcement, but I don't know it yet. So from here, you can hold the kitchen window. Just a little angle onto there. Obviously, if anyone drops, you'll see. But if they do start getting that main breach over towards lobby and this hatch is still closed, you can come back through this way and start fighting on towards the breach there as well. As long as you've got somebody... You don't make this rotate in these feet holes unless you've got somebody here. But playing here is super important. Again, you can hold into to games from here as well. So out in towards games is something that you want to hold. Reinforce this this wall here. I haven't reinforced the garage walls, although I do have 2 reinforcements left. If you wanted to reinforce those, I don't think I'd be against it. But you do want to be playing somebody in here in games or lounge as well. It's called lounge. I always call it games because there's a few games in it. But you want to be holding someone here as well. So get this wall reinforced. From here, you can then peek down towards 90. Or we've made this rotate to go back into sight and stop that breach in that direction or stop the door in this direction. You've got to have somebody in here. I recommend a castle in here. Castle this door. Castle this door. Castle can play in here pretty safely. Then we go upstairs, and I'll show you what we need to be doing there, because it's a decent setup upstairs as well. It's kind of similar to how we defended the top floor, to be honest with you. But that site, what we just looked at there, is there's so much vert on that site as well. So we've got to be really careful to hold upstairs. So upstairs, we've reinforced the IT breach. We've made the same rotate we did in connector as before. And we've reinforced connector as well. Same feet holes for meeting. And then also, if somebody wants to play on these stairs, this is a really dangerous place to play. I wouldn't recommend playing here, but you've got the feet holes if anyone jumps in that window or that window as well. Probably playing here is not only have you got to watch these windows for meeting, this door which comes into meeting hall, you've also got anyone peeking the bottom of the stairs. You can vault over here, but you can't shoot over here. So you can do a bit of a Batman drop late on for anyone who's pushing the breach. But yeah, that's this site in a nutshell. I think I've shown you all 8 reinforcements there, but I'm not a massive fan of it. I think it's too easy to get control of this breach. The difficult thing is then where do you plant from the breach? Well, the thing is, all of this floor is soft. This is all just above in meeting. So if you want to, if I could just play here and stop them planting here, well, you could, yeah, but all this is soft stuff. So anyone that makes vert above can just clear you out of there, and you're going to have to get forced back to here. Then there's also vert here, which if you get the right angle, can see feet from here. Like, you can see the vert that's been made. You can see feet from people standing here, so then you've got to stand here. And now eventually we're getting forced further and further and further back. That's a snazzy tap, isn't it? With the little sort of spray connection. That's cool. Nice. I've just installed one of them in my kitchen. Felt like a right plumber when I did it. So yeah, you can plant that like on the breach with a smoke or something maybe, but I do feel like it's a little bit tricky to defend once the vert's made upstairs. One of the best places to plant really is once the breach is open, try and smoke off an angle like here. put a bit of smoke there, and then dive into here, jump up here and plant here. But you've got to make sure it's smoked off, otherwise obviously you're going to get toasted from there. And then you could just plant on the breach. But this isn't an attack guide, it's a defense guide. How do you stop that? And we stop that with the head holes that we've got here, that we talked about, and the same thing with the head holes there, with C4s and smokes to try and deny the push through the breach. The only thing is, obviously, the attackers are going to have control of this breach pretty quickly, and then you've got to somehow use 3 smokes and maybe a C4 or 2 to deny all that time. You can then put late pressure on by coming through lounge and holding down towards 90, obviously, on the kitchen door here. But yeah, it's a tough site. I think command's better in my opinion, but command takes a little bit more coordination with your team. Kitchen's probably better if you're not in a full sort of 3 or 4 or 5 stack. Finally, then we've got control and storage, which, as I said before, I do actually think is a better site than kitchen. It just requires a bit more coordination. It's similar to like open area on bank and bar on chalet, where they are good sites, but it requires coordination between all 5 of you. We'll start here at the back of control. Reinforce the left-hand side and make a rotate on the right side. Make a rotate on the right side, not the left side, because that can be held from the window way outside, so you can't use the rotate. We then want to watch out. If you're coming through this rotate, you've got to watch out for this window. A lot of people hold this window. We open this hatch just as an escape route if you're in here and you need to get out. So you can drop the hatch. You don't have to worry about anyone coming up the hatch unless they're playing Amaru and they come up the hatch, which they're not going to. Over in storage, we don't reinforce this wall. We just make a rotate bottom left. We rotate this. We reinforce the single wall out into lounge or games. However, I do think that there could be an argument made to say we hold lounge. And then make a rotate here so you can get back in, because otherwise there's only one door back into lounge. So let's just say we lose let's just say we lose storage and the attackers are here. There's only one way back into this room, and that's through storage, through this door here from lounge to storage. So I kind of feel like it, depending on what, again, I don't want to keep saying depending on what elo you're in, but it does matter. If you think you can hold lounge in games, I would open this wall and make head holes there, or maybe even a rotate, and then just defend in here, and then you can peek through into that area if you need to. But obviously it requires some kind of setup in here, whether you're going to be playing castle or you're having someone above, which we will in a minute, and doing something with the kitchen wall, obviously, and the door out into vending. So we'll just nip upstairs quickly. Oh, actually, let's go into garage quickly. Actually, we haven't spoken about that yet. Garage is going to have a reinforcement on both the external walls, and then barricade this door. And then we'll just nip upstairs, and we defend this a little bit like we do when we're defending top floor, which is what we said for the other downstairs side. Reinforce both IT walls, reinforce both of the triple wall on the right side, reinforce the right-hand side of the wall towards fish. Again, exactly the same things. Looking at feet, here to hold that door there, head holes here to hold toward the breach. Exactly the same things we spoke about when we're defending upstairs. We don't extend as far over as connector, but you maybe could do if you wanted to. I don't think the attack comes from that side that much. You don't need to do anything with those walls. You'd be okay just playing around this area, as in, if you wanted to hold connector, you don't need to do anything special with the walls. We've got 1 reinforcement left, or we'd have 2 reinforcements left if we didn't do that storage wall. But it is super important that you hold above. Again, in here, all of this area is completely soft floor. This is above in command, and then this is above. It's towards IT. And a little bit of electrical. A little bit of... oh, my mind's gone blank. What's the room called where pillar is? My mind's gone completely blank. Is it control? No, control's there. What's it called? This is command. What's the room called there? Server. Sorry, my bad. Into server. Yeah, you can see that's all the vert we were just making downstairs. All this is soft. Come through into here. This is the vert we were making there. All this is soft. So that's everything above. So it is a better side to defend, easier side to defend, as long as you're coordinated. The reason I say that is because it'd be very easy for them to just jump in here and plant. Although, again, you have exactly the same issue in kitchen with the kitchen window. I just feel like kitchen's a bit easier to defend if you're not all coordinated. But that's the way to do it. It's super important that you have somebody... I feel like I've said super important 95 times this video. Active around this area here. But again, watching out for this window. And watch out for the rush straight from the bottom floor as well. People sort of sledge out the, you know, the wall. It's single animus wall. I've gone the wrong way. Single animus wall here. People sledge that out and then just walk up the stairs. So yeah, just watch out for that. Or book it out as well. Just watch out for that. And that is control and storage. Pretty easy one, pretty quick one. It's not a mad amount of setup you've got to remember for this one. I do think I changed my mind about this reinforcement though. If you wanted to play lounge, I think that would be a better idea if I'm honest with you, depending on what elo you're in. So there we have it, the setup for 2025 for Nighthaven Labs. Remember, this is getting modernized next season. However, the layout won't change. Nothing will change in terms of the setup. It's just there'll be a few gas pipes and fire extinguishers, and the textures will be updated. There's nothing that will be different for the setups as of next season. That's Nighthaven Labs, as I say, and I think I'm going to go on record twice in one video and say that is my favorite map at the moment. I really enjoy playing Labs. Every time I play Labs, I have a good time. I think the designers and the devs did a great job bringing Labs into the pool, and I think Leia's a good map as well whilst we're on the subject, but no one will play it and learn it, so we're never going to know. A bit like Emerald Plains, really, but there you go. Right, what's next on the list? I don't know. I'll have to go through maps and see which ones I haven't done yet. Theme Park and Skyscraper, I think I still need to do, but we'll get to them over the course of the next couple of weeks. Thank you, as always, for getting involved with the channel. I really, really appreciate it. All the likes, comments, and subscribers. If you haven't left a comment, just leave one below. Say something that really helps the algorithm. Extra cool breeze chewing gum, if you don't know what to say. And yeah, thanks for getting involved as always. I appreciate all the support on the channel from everyone, even you. Yeah, you watching right now. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time. All the very best.